This is set up as a live stream, so I'll be kind of talking at you and you'll be able to watch and hear and see me. And then as far as questions are concerned, we'll have you reach out to your tech coach if you have any questions about what you learned today, or if you want to get some more support with Canvas, we'll be talking about that as well. Well, I see 2:45 on my screen, so we will go ahead and get started. Thanks so much for taking some time and joining us. We are today starting off or kicking off our webinar series with our first section about Canvas. And today we're going to be talking about an introduction to Canvas. So in this presentation, we're really going to take a look at, I'm going to be doing some screen sharing with you, but we're going to talk about what Canvas looks like from the teacher perspective and a student perspective. We're going to jump into a sample course. We'll talk about getting on to Canvas. We'll talk about what Canvas is like in Wentzville, meaning how and when your courses are created and how our sync works. We'll also talk about what a sandbox is and how you can get one if you need one. And then we will end with discussing a little bit about the WSD template that's sitting in Commons that you can bring into your course and use as kind of a template or a structure for your course. Just as a reminder, we have shared with you all our Canvas skills checklist. And twice a month, we're going to be doing one of these webinars. And I just wanted to point out to you that this aligns with the skills checklist. So you should, as you attend today and kind of work through and listen and learn, we'll be covering everything you need to know for the Intro to Canvas section of the Essential Skills checklist. So let's jump off with how do we get to Canvas? So we have a couple ways that we can get to Canvas here. And I'm actually going to move and share my whole screen here in a moment. But our Canvas is at wentzville.instructure.com. After our latest dyslexia training, most of us have made our way to Canvas if we haven't already. But you can get to Canvas by typing that into your browser. And we have a single sign-on with Google that allows our teachers and our students to log in when you're at wentzville.instructure.com. Let me go ahead here and switch over to sharing my full screen here, just so you can see the other ways that we can get into Canvas. So we can also, in the WSD bookmarks bar, if you have that showing, you should see Canvas in there. Don't forget that we also can use ClassLink as a dashboard. So launchpad.classlink.com/WSDR4, or you can get to that through the WSD bookmarks. ClassLink is also on our Wentzville webpage. You click sign in with Google, and then you can get to Canvas. What's nice about Canvas is when we get in there and we sign in, our view is very similar to student view. We have a few more buttons that students don't have, but generally speaking, it looks the same. So now that we're inside of Canvas here, depending on what your grade books look like in SIS K-12, you may see published and unpublished courses here. So there are two sections. When you arrive into Canvas, you arrive on what's called your dashboard, and you'll see a list of any courses that are published that you're enrolled in either as a student or you conduct as a teacher. And if you scroll down, you may also, again, depending on what you have in SIS, see unpublished courses there as well. And you can click into any of these to get inside of that course. Now, what you see here depends on a couple of things. So let me pop back over to my presentation here, and I have a couple screenshots and some information to show you. So we have a sync with Canvas from our SIS, which means that if you teach courses and have grade books. And I say this because we have some people who are SPED teachers or counselors, and you may not have grade books inside of Canvas. But what happens, or inside of SIS, what happens is in SIS, for every course you teach, it is going to create a course in Canvas for you. If you teach year-long courses, so let's say I teach English 1 first hour and it's year-long, in Canvas, I'm going to see one Canvas course for English 1 first hour. Okay, so for every year-long course, for every hour, I'm going to see one course. If I teach semester courses, so let me show you an example here. So this is a sample schedule in a Classroom 360 in SIS, and you can see here that this teacher teaches mostly semester courses, the couple of year-longs are teacher aids. So if we hop over then to this teacher's Canvas, we're going to see here that he, in fact, has a course for every hour he teaches and for every semester. So you can kind of see those there. And then the year-long courses, the teacher aids you're going to see are right there at the bottom with the hour next to it. So that is right on your dashboard. We can also, and let me hop back over here to my Canvas right here. We can also take a look. So right now I'm on my dashboard on the left here. If I click down to courses, okay, so I'm on my dashboard. If I click down to courses and find at the very bottom the all courses button, let's go ahead and take a look at that. And when we click there, we're going to see at the top any of our published current courses, and notice that I've clicked to put a star next to the ones I want to show up on my dashboard. Okay, I can deselect the ones I don't. But then at the bottom, and yours is going to look a little different at mine, but then at the bottom, you're going to see all past enrollments. And if you had any future enrollments, you would see those there. But your past enrollments are going to be previous years that you had grade books in while you're in Wentzville. If that applies to you, you would see those courses there along with the terms. So this just lets you see a little bit of what all of your courses look like. Okay, so how that sync works, sometime around late July, early August, just like every year, when we first get access to see our grade books and to see our course lists, shortly after that or around that time is when we turn on our sync. So that's when we're actually going to see all of our real Canvas courses pop up here with our students enrolled. So our Canvas, our information in SIS, then syncs over and updates rosters and schedules as those changes go through. So as students move in and out of our classes or their schedules change or ours, it takes about 24 hours, but we see those changes just pop up here. So what that means is, if you are going to be using Canvas really thoroughly for the first time next school year, around late July, August, whenever that time is when we get our courses and we can see them in SIS, you'll be able to go to Canvas and you'll be able to see your courses already made for you. You don't have to make them. And your students will already be enrolled in them. They'll be unpublished, so students won't be able to see ahead of time what work they need to do. So you can press that publish button on the first day of school. But you'll see your real courses there. So what do we do in the meantime over summer or even right now when we want to work on our course content and start getting our feet wet, working through that essential skills list? We can use a course shell called a Sandbox. So Sandbox Courses, I want to show you, I have one here that's a blank one. Let me find it here for you. I have a bunch on here. Here we go. This is my health sandbox. There's nothing in it, but this is a place where I can work by myself with no students in it to build out whatever course content that I'd like. And then when my real courses are generated, the sync happens in late July. When that happens, I can then copy some of it, all of it. Whenever I'm ready, I can copy my content into my legitimate courses and be ready to go. But this course shell, which we call a sandbox, that's Canvas's term. Think about it as a place where we can play and build in kind of an area where we can make it right and then copy what we want. We can use that sandbox for it. You really only need one sandbox for every subject you teach. If you get too many, your dashboard can be overwhelmed. So some of you may log in and you haven't used Canvas much, but you may find that you already have a sandbox in there you can use. If you do think you need a sandbox, we have a Google form you can fill out. And let me go ahead and jump to this slide here. You can go to tinyurl.com/WSD Sandbox. You can pause right now if you want to pause and type that in. And this will alert us that we need to make a sandbox for you. But again, you may find you already have one. So if that's the case, you may not need to request another. You can just use that. You can also rename it if you'd like to do that. You do need to reach out to your tech coach if you would like any additional teachers added to that sandbox. So sometimes teachers find that they want to collaborate with their team and build content together in a sandbox. So you can definitely do that too. You would just need to reach out to your tech coach to have somebody added as a teacher. So that's what sandboxes are. And again, those are places to play. You don't lose any of your work when it's in a sandbox, and you can copy it into your legitimate courses when those are made at the end of summer. So you're ready to go for your year. So let's jump into and take a look, and thank you, Kristen Tinsley, for letting me look at your class as kind of a sample here. We're going to jump into a class just so we can get an idea of what a full-blown Canvas course looks like. So we're going to jump into her course right now and just take a peek in there. If it will let me copy her course, here we go. And her course, she's using several different tools in here. She has announcements at the top. She has a page right here that has some little buttons on it that students can click to get to information they need. That could be an external link or a link inside of her Canvas course. And then over here on the left, she has some different tools that students can access. I'm actually in the top right going to very quickly turn on student view just to show you what that looks like. So when students come into her class, they can see the most frequent announcements at the top, and they can click to view them. Then they can scroll down if they need to get to a certain place and they know a button's here, they can get to that there. But you can see here that Mrs. Tinsley really uses what's called modules. So let me go ahead and click to that. This is one of the best things about Canvas is it lets you really structure out the flow of your materials for students. So you can put links and pages and quizzes and all the stuff you need. You can organize them into what's called modules. So here you can see they're in a research paper they're working on, and there's different links here. And we can see this is it. It's just this module is what is currently open for students, so they can come in and get what they need to get and grab it here. I'm going to click Leave Student View because I want to show you the other side of it, which is the teacher side. You can see here that Mrs. Tinsley actually has a number of modules that are sitting in here, but she has only published the ones that students need for the current unit she's in. So what's really nice is as a teacher, you can preload a lot in here and leave it here and then turn things on and off as students need access to it. And that's all right in there. So this is what a full Canvas course looks like from the teacher and student perspective. There's a lot you can do in here, right? Well, we don't want to overwhelm you, and we know that this essential skills checklist is really going to focus you in on what you need, but we've also created one more template for you that we think will be really helpful, and I want to show that to you. So if I go back to my sandbox here, and I can go back to my dashboard, and then I can find my health sandbox and click on it. When you come in here, this is what it looks like when it's a blank course. There are a whole bunch of different tools on the left here. There's just a blank thing that says, should I create a module, right? Here's my publish button. It's not published right now. I can bring course content in. It's just a blank space, which can be a little overwhelming. So what we've created for you all, and shout out to Mike McCann for really getting this together, is we have a WSD template that you can bring into your sandbox. You can also bring it into your course with students, but remember, if we build it in our sandbox, we can move it at a later time into our real courses. This is just our place to play. So let me show you how you find this template and bring it into this course. We're going to go down our global navigation bar here on the left, and we're looking for Commons. Commons is a tool that only teachers have access to, and it is stocked with tens of thousands of resources that you can bring into your class and edit and use and make your own, including the course template we've created here. But you'll also see you can search up here for a bunch of different things like quizzes or courses or pages. But for today, we are looking for the WSD course template. We have it featured, so it should show up on your first page here for you to grab. And if you don't see it though, you can type right in here to the top. Now, the first time you go to Commons, just to warn you, it will ask you to accept the terms of Commons. You'll accept those. And then you should see our WSD course template here. If you don't see it, type in WSD course template. You should see Amanda Moody's name on it, and it's sitting right here. That's my name. It was weird to say my name. Okay, so we're going to click on WSD course template, and it's going to take us into the resource. And then over on the right-hand side, we're going to look for import or download. So we're going to click this blue import or download because we want to take this template and import it into our Sandbox or whatever course that you're looking for. So I'm going to search here. I have a bunch I may need to type in. Nope, here it is. I'm going to search for my health Sandbox. I'm going to put a check there. Notice if I had, maybe I teach health and PE and I have two Sandboxes, I could check both of those at once if I wanted. And then I'm going to scroll to the bottom, and then I'm looking for another blue button that says import into course, and I'm going to click that. And when I do it, it's just going to say, hey, your stuff's being moved to your course. So I'm ready to go back to my dashboard and to find my course. I'm just going to jump in here. Let me find my health course here. I have so many, I may have unstarted. Actually, it's unpublished. That's probably is. Here it is, my health Sandbox. I'm going to go ahead and click it. This can take a little bit of time, but it's usually pretty quick. In fact, there it is. So I want you to notice a few things. Remember what this looked like before? It had a bunch of tools on the left, all visible. It said, do I want to add a module? So what we've done here is we've done some setup for you. So basically on this home button here, we have set your home button to show this page. If you need to or want to edit the page, which you'll want to because it just says instructor name, you don't want your kids coming on and just seeing instructor name, you're going to click our edit button here and you can make those changes. We have information in our next webinar on setting up home pages and setting up pages, so you'll get more information on this. But everything you bring in from this template, you can customize and make your own. So it's set up to set this home page for you. You could change out the banner or use it. You can put info in here. We've also, if you notice, have hidden, this is what this cross through eyeball looks like. You'll see here as I hover over, it says it's disabled. It's not visible to students. So we have hidden and cleaned up navigation. So students aren't going to see all of these buttons over here to the left because we have designed the template in the way that we think is best and what works well for students, and that's utilizing what's called modules. So if I click on modules next here, you'll see that we have created two modules for you to start off with. So these two modules are a welcome module and a module 1. You'll learn about modules in a future webinar or on the essential skills checklist, so you can learn more about those later. But basically, modules allow you to take course content, so to take things again like quizzes and pages and links, and then add them to topics, so add them to module names, so you can organize them for students. So we have preloaded a sample page in here for you, a sample assignment, and then a link to kind of show you what those look like. All of these are editable for you. And again, you'll learn about more about editing course content, creating pages, assignments, quizzes, and editing modules later. But these are preloaded for you to show you what they look like. You'll also see that in settings, we have cleaned up some of your navigation. This is something you'll learn about later, but you'll notice in this navigation tab here, we've hidden a lot of things and cleaned it up for you so you're ready to go with students. So again, this template is just to help you. It kind of is less stressful when you load something that has a template in it versus starting blank. If you're ready for the challenge of starting blank and you're comfortable, that's great. But this is also a great tool just to get things cleaned up for you and kind of set up nicely in there to help you get started. So again, we went to Commons and we found the WSD template and we brought it into our Sandbox so we can kind of play around in here and have this template for ourselves. I want to point out just a couple more things to you while we're in Canvas, and then we'll wrap up here with a couple of reminders about PD and some things to look forward to coming ahead as we prepare, already thinking about summer and next school year, which is crazy. So a couple of the things I wanted to point your attention to is when you log into Canvas, just as a little extra to kind of throw in there, over on the left-hand side where it says accounts, just be aware that you have two sections that are kind of good to look at. One is notifications. And this is just a good thing to know. This is how you are notified, generally speaking, about things going on inside of Canvas. So how often are you emailed about things? Or when do you get an email about a student turning something in, or when you're invited to a class? So you can kind of see those there. These also sit under each course. So every course you have also has notifications. So if there's a course that you're taking over the summer and you want to get notified all the time, inside that course, you'll be able to change the course notifications as well. And then under profile is where you can set an all-important profile picture. This is just a great thing to do so that when you're posting announcements for students or posting to a discussion board or you're taking summer PD, this is where your icon can come up. My hair actually looks very different than this. I'll need to update that soon so I can go in there and update that. So that's just one more important place to look. As you begin going through this essential skills checklist, we'll really be focusing on this course, our dashboard, and focusing on course development and making courses. But spend some time as well just clicking around in here. There's some other great tools down this global navigation bar that you can check out. But again, as we kind of move forward, we are going to work our way through that essential skills checklist and make sure that you're feeling good going into next school year. So just a reminder, kind of a last reminder here, we have created quite a few resources to help you as kind of on demand. So you can find many of those resources on our Tech Hub. To get to the Tech Hub, you can go to tinyurl.com/WSD Hub. You can also find it in the bookmarks bar. But I wanted to show you quickly too, and I know we're in kind of our last little bit here. Oh, that's to our Canvas sandbox. So there's our sandbox again. But if I go to our Tech Hub here, there is an entire Canvas section. So number one at the top, we have a little banner for now indicating where you can find our Canvas webinar series, like the one you're seeing here. But you're also on the left-hand side going to see a Canvas button. This is a really good go-to place if you're searching for information, and we've really pulled out the essential information here. So this is where you can jump in to learn about pages or to learn about quizzes or course navigation. There's a link to the sandbox there. You're going to see a link to our essential skills checklist. Here's a link to our webinar series that you're joining in for right now. So we have all of our resources around Canvas are all right here for you. I finally want to mention as well, and this is linked in a bunch of places, Canvas has a top-notch instructor guide set. So that is linked on your essential skills checklist. It's linked on the Tech Hub. It's also inside of Canvas if you hit the help button in Canvas on the global navigation bar. But this literally goes through any question you could maybe have about something inside of Canvas from an instructor point of view. They also have one for students as well. But what's nice about how this works is if I'm working on, let's say, modules, what I'm going to do is click on modules, and then you'll see they have a whole bunch of questions. So if my question is, how do I edit a module? I click it, and then these guides have images with arrows, and they go through step by step. They're constantly updated. So as things change inside of Canvas, they're updating them here as well. This is loading kind of slowly, but here we see. So it's going to tell you, all right, you need to edit a module. Well, you need to click modules. You need to click the 3 dots and edit. Then here's everything you can do to make your changes to the module. Then you click update. So these are just a great place to go as well. Finally, just looking ahead, just know that we'll be sharing some options over summer to do PD on Canvas. And so you'll be hearing about that pretty soon. And we have additional webinars and the essential skills checklist. And don't forget that Mike, Sam, and I are here to support you as we transition to Canvas. All right, I think I've talked a lot at you. We are going to put this recording and all recordings back on that Canvas webinar page so you can find them there. And thank you so much. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to your tech coach. And thank you all for your time today.